Adrian Colyer right after his keynote at JAX London. Adrian, would you like to say a few words about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Adrian Colyer, CTO of SpringSource, which is now a division of VMware.
Okay, yesterday evening there was the big announcement about Cloud Foundry. What is it that you announced yesterday?
So Cloud Foundry is really kind of two things. One is there's cloudfoundry.com, which is a hosted instance of a platform as a service. But also importantly, there's cloudfoundry.org, which means that all the software that we use to create that platform as a service is itself open source under the Apache license, just like Spring itself is.
Okay, and what does it mean for me as a developer to deploy applications on this? I mean, is this any different from all the other public clouds out there, like the offerings by Amazon, for example?
So yeah, there are a few things the same and a few things that are different. Obviously, one of the fundamental things about the PaaS from a developer's perspective is this notion of I have my application, I need with one click, just deploy it and run it for me. You take care of everything, and that's the fundamental promise that several of the people putting up PaaSes are working towards. Some things that are different about Cloud Foundry are the ways that it's open. Three primary ways. One is for a wide range of different frameworks for writing your applications. Right now we cover Spring, with Ruby we have Rails and Sinatra. We also have Node for Node applications, but you can plug in additional ones. There's an interface to do it, and it's open source there. Then the set of services again, we provide an initial set. There's MySQL, there's Redis, there's Mongo. Over time we'll add more, but the community can add more too, because that service provider interface is open. And the third key way is you're not restricted to just a hosted instance run by VMware, but in actual fact you can take that code and run it on a variety of different clouds, on EC2, inside your own data center, on your own laptop, or of course on VMware vSphere hosted environments and through many of the VMware's partners as well.
So what you're saying is that the complete environment to run my applications would be provisioned for me, and I don't need to care about that because there is some automatic mechanism to install that environment.
That's right, yes. You upload your application, and then we will do some introspection for frameworks we understand to see the services it needs. We can automatically instantiate those services and bind them into the application.
Okay, like databases and so on. Okay, so what do you think, what kind of applications will we see on this platform? Which applications get the most benefit from this?
So I guess initially most people are clearly looking at sort of newer greenfield applications will be the primary targets, and most people right now using public PaaS are looking at sort of development and test kind of usage. But increasingly I'm seeing more and more customers looking to create production environments inside their own data centers based on similar technologies. So in time the usage will grow just as any new technology comes in.
So does that mean that we will see, do you think this is more important for private cloud usage or for public cloud usage, or what kind of clouds will we see with Cloud Foundry primarily?
So obviously the most visible initial instances, they're public and they're hosted and they're great for, very low barrier to entry, get your hands dirty and have a quick try. As I talk to customers around Europe, primarily myself, but my colleagues do the same in the States, there is a lot of interest right now in creating, PaaS-like environments inside the enterprise. And so certainly, being open source and, being able to run across a number of different environments, that's somewhere you could see, Cloud Foundry being used in the future.
Okay, I see. Now, of course, Spring has always been about portability, and as you said, there will be support for Cloud Foundry baked into Spring. How does that, what does that mean in terms of portability across different cloud vendors and other public clouds like Google App Engine or Amazon Beanstalk and so on?
So, as I'm sure listeners will be aware, it's been a long-standing tenet of Spring that you should be able to take a Spring application and run it in a wide range of environments. In the early days that would have meant Tomcat, WebSphere, WebLogic, etc., JBoss. And one of our key things we're trying to do is make sure that as the industry moves towards cloud and we figure out what that means, Spring continues to be the best program model for writing applications that take you there. And so of course that means Cloud Foundry, but by no means is it exclusive. And you would have already seen our partnership, for example, with Salesforce around VMforce, really strong partnership with Google around Spring applications on the Google App Engine, Spring applications deploy very happily to Amazon's Beanstalk, etc. And all of that is important to us, so we make sure that continues.
Okay, so does that mean that I will just need to take my Spring applications that I'm heavily running inside my organization, deploy it to the cloud, and all of a sudden it's scalable and it can scale up to the large numbers of users that I might have in this cloud environment, or is there any impact on the development and architecture?
So in the very simple case, you may be able to make that work. In general, there are going to be things you want to think about. Where is the data the application is accessing? How does it access it? Is the application designed to scale from a data perspective? Just classic, relational model typically only scales so far. We need to introduce other things. So there are some patterns we want to consider if we start thinking about how do we design an application to take advantage of the elastic scaling capabilities of the underlying infrastructure. So some things can move, but to really take full advantage, I think you want to look at how am I designing this app and what should I be doing? And people who are already putting in place messaging-based systems, or who put in place some kind of data fabric and caching layers, etc., are well positioned to take advantage of that.
Okay, and these services like messaging systems and NoSQL databases will be provided by Cloud Foundry, I guess.
Absolutely. So some of those are provided today by Cloud Foundry. Others, VMware is actively working on and will make available. And we very much hope that if there's a favorite service somebody wants that isn't there yet, using the service provider interface, they'll wire it in.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thank you, Eberhard.
Nice overview.